Jabir Ibn Hayyan. Over 1,000 years ago, one man's thirst for knowledge helped shape the future of science. That man was Jabir Ibn Hayyan. Jabir, a polymath, scholar, and the father of chemistry. His work was revolutionary in his time, and his influence can still be felt in laboratories and classrooms around the world today. But who was Jabir Ibn Hayyan, and how did his contributions impact society, humanity, and science?
Jabir ibn Hayyan was born in Tus, Persia, around 721 CE, during a time when the Islamic world was experiencing a golden age of learning. His early exposure to science came through his father, who was a pharmacist. After his father's death, Jabir moved to Kufa, Iraq, where he studied under the guidance of renowned scholars like Ja'far al-Sadiq. This period was crucial for Jabir, as he was exposed to a wealth of knowledge from Greek, Persian, and Indian texts. The Islamic world at the time was an intellectual hub, translating and preserving works from past civilizations. Jabir's thirst for knowledge was insatiable, and it wasn't long before he began making groundbreaking contributions of his own.
Jabir's legacy is most closely associated with chemistry, or what was known in his time as alchemy. He revolutionized the field by introducing the scientific method, insisting on experimentation and observation over mysticism. He was a pioneer in practical chemical processes such as distillation, crystallization, filtration, and evaporation, techniques that are still used today in modern laboratories. He also invented or improved laboratory tools like the alembic, a device used for distillation. His work on acids was especially groundbreaking. He discovered sulfuric acid, nitric acid, and hydrochloric acid. These chemicals are the cornerstones of modern industrial chemistry and are used in everything from fertilizers to cleaning products. Jabir also created a mixture called aqua regia, one of the few substances that can dissolve gold. This discovery had enormous implications, not just in metallurgy but in understanding chemical reactions. His methods and findings helped solidify alchemy as a more scientific practice, moving it away from mysticism and toward what we now recognize as modern chemistry. Jabir's work extended beyond chemistry into the fields of medicine and pharmacology. He applied his chemical expertise to improve the quality of medicines, creating compounds to treat illnesses. His methods of purifying substances made drugs more effective, which had a significant impact on healthcare at the time. His work in pharmacology also inspired future generations of scientists in both the Islamic world and Europe. The purification processes he developed allowed for the isolation of active ingredients in plants, contributing to the development of modern pharmaceuticals. He even experimented with the idea of prolonging life and enhancing health, concepts that influenced the development of tonics and early forms of medicine. Jabir ibn Hayyan's contribution to medicine through chemistry helped lay the groundwork for the pharmaceutical sciences as we know them today. While Jabir is known for his practical work, his theoretical contributions were equally important. He introduced the idea that all substances could be broken down into more basic components, a precursor to the concept of chemical elements. He proposed that metals were made from mercury and sulfur, an early attempt to explain the nature of substances and their transformations. Jabir also believed in the balance of elements, echoing earlier Greek and Islamic thought, but his approach was more scientific. His works laid the foundation for later concepts in chemistry, such as the conservation of mass, which eventually evolved into atomic theory. This approach was revolutionary at the time. Jabir's emphasis on balance, proportions, and experimentation influenced both his contemporaries and future generations of scientists. Jabir ibn Hayyan's impact wasn't limited to the Islamic world. By the 12th century, his works had been translated into Latin and were widely studied in Europe. Under the name Jabir, Jabir's ideas became a cornerstone for European alchemists. His writings influenced scientists during the Renaissance and paved the way for the scientific revolution. One of the key figures who was inspired by Jabir was Robert Boyle, often called the father of modern chemistry. Boyle's work, particularly his emphasis on experiments and chemical reactions, shows a clear lineage from Jabir's early practices. Through these translations and adaptations, Jabir's work contributed to the development of modern chemistry and scientific thought in the West. His ideas helped push science away from mystical interpretations of nature and towards a more rigorous, experimental approach. Jabir Ibn Hayyan's contributions have had a profound and lasting impact on humanity. His innovations in chemistry and pharmacology paved the way for modern industries, from medicine to metallurgy. His insistence on experimentation and his pioneering methods of chemical synthesis influenced the scientific method that we rely on today. In many ways, the tools and techniques Jabir developed are still in use. Modern chemistry, with its precise calculations and controlled experiments, owes much to the work of this early pioneer. Beyond the technical aspects, Jabir's work represents the timeless human pursuit of knowledge. His desire to understand the world through observation, reason, and experimentation helped shape the intellectual foundations of science. Jabir Ibn Hayyan's legacy is not just rooted in his discoveries, but also in the vast body of work attributed to him, known as the Jabirian Corpus. This extensive collection of writings, encompassing over 3,000 treatises, covers topics ranging from alchemy and medicine to philosophy and mathematics. However, the true authorship of these works has long been a topic of debate among historians. While some scholars argue that the Jabirian Corpus was indeed written by Jabir himself, others believe it may have been the work of multiple authors or a later school of thought inspired by his teachings. Jabir Ibn Hayyan's legacy continues to inspire scientists and scholars across the world. His contributions to chemistry, medicine, and the scientific method resonate even today, over 1,000 years later. As we look at the modern advancements in science and technology, we must not forget the contributions of this remarkable figure. He wasn't just the father of chemistry, he was a man who helped humanity unlock the mysteries of the universe.